Where are we today, and why are there people walking through a cemetery? Where was then known as Sleepy Hollow. The resident here today is Washington Irving, the legend of the Headless Horseman. And it all started here in this cemetery. There are other famous people buried in this cemetery, but for today, we're focused on the one who came through here, Ichabod Crane. We all know the story. On that fateful night, let's go see some of the famous spots that occurred during the story. You know the legend of Sleepy Hollow? Well, you don't know? You know the Headless Horseman. Okay, but, well, anyway. Look in the woods. I didn't see it. I was filming, but look at the flash. Look, do you see it now? Do you see it? He's not supposed to be there now. He's only supposed to come out at night, and not now. This is where it all happened. So for a fictional story, there's an awful lot that's actually physically here. And before Halloween every year, they actually tell the story in the old stone church, which is also in the story. You know about the cemetery, don't you? You don't. So let's go to the cemetery. Do you see all those tombstones? You can't read the writing on a lot of the tombstones, I know. That's because they're that old. A lot of them go back to the Revolutionary War. Those are to honor the soldiers who fought for the United States. Well, before it was the United States, and fought for freedom. But they're not the only ones who are buried here. There are British soldiers and there are also Hessians. And they're probably not quite as happy to be here. That's a lot of where this story begins and where a lot of it goes. So I'm going to give you the real short version of the story. But you should really come here because they tell the whole story inside, right in that building over there, the old stone church. And it's really worth hearing. They close these gates at night and they don't allow anyone in here at night, but it's open during the day. Ichabod Crane went to a party and he planned on proposing to his beloved, and he did. And much to his shock, she turned him down. And he was upset. He was very upset. And he'd gotten there, I guess on foot, but he didn't have a horse of his own. So he borrowed a plow horse. Yes, a plow horse. And he left the party. And he came up into the hills right behind me and right where I just was. And those hills have paths and roads that twist and turn. And you can be lost up in there for, well, for a long, long time. And all of a sudden, back behind him was the horseman. But you don't know about the horseman. So I guess we should talk about the horseman and the legend. Well, the horseman, legend has it, is a Hessian soldier who lost his head. And I really don't want to make light of it, but he lost his head to a cannonball. And he now rides on the back of a horse with, depending on who you believe, either a jack-o'-lantern or a pumpkin for a head. And you should really read Mr. Irving's book. It's wonderful. And he chased Ichabod. And the only thing he can't do is cross the wooden bridge over at the river. And the next morning, the plow horse was found in a field. A pumpkin was found on this side of the bridge, broken, and Ichabod was never seen again. That's the version I'll tell you for now. It's a wonderful place to visit. Sleepy Hollow Cemetery. We are now at the famous Headless Horseman Bridge where Ichabod Crane was chased by the Headless Horseman as he ran for his life. It's quite the tourist attraction. This is not the original bridge. And there it is, the old stone church. And that is original to the 1700s. I want to be respectful of them, but they are very, very old. And you can barely read the writing on them. They're from the late 1700s and early 1800s. And the church has been in continuous use for the entire period of time except for the Revolutionary War. It's a wonderful place to visit. Sleepy Hollow Cemetery. Just north of New York City. Easy place to visit and wonderful, especially around Halloween. And remember, the Headless Horseman, if you stay here too late, may come to visit you. Is it really a fictional story? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Ultimate Park Guide. If you like what we do, subscribe, ring the bell.